Well, the memorial service of the late Raila Odinga coming to a conclusion at the Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi, and in a bit the public will have a chance to view the body of the late Raila Odinga at the same venue. They've just been told to just wait a little bit so that the dignitaries can leave the stadium before they can have, rather they can get that chance of viewing the body of the late Raila Amolo Odinga. Nyayo Stadium failed to capacity. Remember, it has a capacity of 18,000, and today Kenyans turned out in numbers for that funeral service of the late Raila Odinga at that venue. The service was led by Reverend Jonathan Kabiru of ACK, as well as Granton Mwanyanya and Canon Evans Omolo, with the homily being delivered by David Kodia at Nyayo. And remember, African leaders as well as global leaders sent their tributes to the fallen enigma who died on 15th of October in India and was brought back to the country yesterday. His body was brought back to the country yesterday, and today his memorial service taking place at the Nyayo Stadium. And remember, the CS for Interior gazetted Friday 17th October 2025 as a public holiday so that Kenyans can get time to mourn the late Raila Amolo Odinga. In his tribute, President William Ruto said that Raila Odinga is a once-in-a-generation leader. He's one of Africa's greatest sons, a man who championed reforms that we hold. He was a voice for the oppressed and a once-in-a-generation leader, a man who towered for decades, selfless, a statesman, a unifier, and a Pan-Africanist. And he said there is no leader, Raila is a leader whose vision has changed destinies for generations to come. He said his spirit will live within every Kenya in his absence, and his presence will endure for generations. President William Ruto further went on to say that Raila Amolo Odinga was a movement for change, a movement for justice, and a movement for inclusivity, something that Kenyans should embrace and also emulate. President William Ruto further said that he has come a very long way with Raila Amolo Odinga. They have been together in ODM, after which they went separate ways. And in 2022, they ran against each other in the 2022 elections. And after that, President Ruto said that he stood by him to steady the nation, and he helped President William Ruto anchor his leadership through the broad-based government. And President Ruto also said that Raila had a dream of a united motherland of Kenya, a country that he wanted to see united without divisions. He called him a man who rose above self for the nation, and he was a voice for reason. In nation building, he's a man that believed there was room for everyone, a man that wanted a prosperous Kenya where justice favors no one. President William Ruto also said that he gave more to the country than many can ever dream of doing, a man who shared the pain of the people, and he had a big heart to forgive. And remember, former President Uhuru Kenyatta was also at the memorial service, and President Uhuru Kenyatta said that he loved Raila like a brother. He respected him as Baba, Agwambo, Tinga, and he said that Raila loved Kenya more than any other country in the world and more than anything else. He was a leader for all without discrimination. And he said that Kenya has lost a great leader, and when Kenya's history will be written, you have to mention Raila Odinga when it comes to democracy. You have to mention Raila Odinga when it comes to human rights and devolution. So let's cross over to the Nyayo National Stadium, where our political affairs senior reporters, Daniel Kariuki and Chris Dhairu are. Good afternoon, Daniel Kariuki and Chris Dhairu. The memorial service has just come to a conclusion, and we've heard from the speech that was given by our former President Uhuru Kenyatta as well as the President William Ruto, and there's something that came out clearly. Raila was a man of the people, a man that fought for democracy, a man that fought for justice, and a man who wanted Kenya to be a united country. Daniel and Chris.
Very much, Robinson Okenye back in studio, and you have said it right that the speech that was given here eulogized Raila Odinga as a human rights defender. Of course, you've said it right. I'm joined also by my colleague Chris Dhairu, whom we have been following keenly on this funeral service that has been happening here at the Nyayo Stadium. And currently, Robinson, before we just a preview of what the president as well as the former president has talked about, right now what is going on is dignitaries are currently having the opportunity to have a view of the body of the late Raila Odinga. And so after those dignitaries, that includes members of parliament, are through, then the public is going to be allowed to go and view the body. You remember that the Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka was away, as well as the opposition leaders were not around in Kasarani yesterday, so they did not get the opportunity to view the body, and so they were the first to view the body, the remains of the body, and at the place where the casket bearing the remains of Raila Odinga had been kept. But away from that, and as we wait to see how the security personnel are going to ensure that there is decorum, and also the process, the exercise goes on smoothly as we wait to see how it is handled. Chris Dhairu, of course, President William Ruto, his speech has talked more of Raila Odinga, the man who was a statesman, the man who was fought for democracy, and also the man who wanted everything good for the country, Kenya.
I think, thanks a lot, Karaoke, and I think something that to take home on Raila's speech is that he has acknowledged on Ruto's speech, that's the president's speech, right. He has acknowledged that him and Raila, they have been friends and foe at the same time. They have found themselves at the together, working together, but on the other end, they've also found themselves at a bitter split that has also resulted into chaos at sometimes, right. Especially after the presidential election of the last 2022 elections. Yes, and something that is also acknowledged is that towards the beginning of last year, Raila agreed to come together and form the broad-based government. And right. He has accepted that his coming into government is something that has really helped him to steer the country peacefully, without any chaos, even as he continues with his broad-based government projects. But something I can really touch on, Karaoke, right. is the plan that the KDF is going to take now.
Yes.
To ensure that there is order.
Yes.
In viewing the body of the late Right Honorable Raila Odinga.
Yes.
They did that yesterday at Kasarani, and it was chaotic. They had left that for the NYS and the other police officers. But this time round, as you can see, the Kenya Defense Forces have taken charge, and what's happening is that they will ensure that everyone who is coming to view the body at that VVIP dais where the body is will follow a straight line, and from one entrance to one exit,
right.
So that they can avoid Kenyans coming at the middle of the field itself. And I think that's something to take home, and the organization situation for today compared to what we experienced yesterday from the airport right to Kasarani Stadium and on Thika Road. But Karaoke, something I'm seeing, going back to the speeches, there's something that Kenyans and maybe those in the united opposition are taking, maybe are charging, and it's they expected that the Wiper party leader Kalonzo Musyoka maybe would have been given an opportunity to talk on a friend that or a political friend that they've been together. Remember that Kalonzo was the running mate to Raila Odinga in 2013. The same case happened in 2017, right. Even after he had promised Kalonzo that it's only one bullet remaining, right, and will support him come 2017. In 2022,
I'll cut you short a bit.